Hey there, Duck here. And at this point, I'm starting to think that this whole thing is mostly me talking to myself. But that's not so bad, Like, look on your past, this and that, see how you've grown, see what you've learned. Pretty neat. And if with all the, I guess what I'm trying to say is the video right now is going to be talking about weirdness in general, I guess. Like ever since the whole free love 70s, 60s thing, it's just been getting more and more. You want to say open-minded, but no, it isn't. It's just shifting the focus from one thing to the other, and I don't know. It just seems like the world's getting weirder and weirder. But maybe everything has been just as weird as it has been before, and we're just noticing because internet, freedom, all kinds of things. Now, I'm fairly certain that, given the description that I've put on this channel, that you'd like to talk about some heroes. So in between my ramblings about myself, I probably should put in a few good words here. Now, let's see. Okay, there's this guy I knew some time ago. He called himself the Dream King, and you know those videos about weird things in the world, just real life, this, that, and the other. Like, some people call the guy who can stick his eyeballs out like a lizard to have superpowers, or the guy who can magnetically attach spoons to his body and stuff like that. Yeah, that's overall how the power thing works. I mean, I'm not going to say whether or not I have some, but yeah, some of them just suck. And Dream King, his thing was precognitive dreams. But the thing is, they weren't always precog, so he mentioned it wasn't that big of a deal because the ones that weren't precog were like really weird, and the ones that were just stupid, like the local cantina or whatever place, cafeteria, I think is the word I was looking for, was going to have this certain special on this certain day, and they'd have this certain decorations up, and it wasn't like the news or anything. But it was fairly interesting talking to that guy. We had a class together. Let's see, who else? It was there was some rumors some time ago, like you know how it goes. You hear some random stuff, and then people repeat it over and over again, and then it just becomes like a joke, like Sasquatch or that thing they made up in those weird newspapers. Bat Boy, I think. Anyway, something like that happened, and I heard plenty of people talking about this guy called the Cameraman, and he basically, it's the whole Big Brother's watching you thing, like not every camera he is watching through, but he could be watching through any, and with the information he has, he could blackmail pretty much anyone, call them up, have them do whatever. Yeah, that'd be a decent comic book villain, but I don't even know if that's a real thing or if it's just paranoia. Like putting a face behind all that stuff, all that craziness. And in the modern day of like social media, that's just, you're just giving away the information. It's just kind of funny. Oh, Rooster was a Long story short, I knew this guy who was into martial arts, and he knew this guy who called himself Rooster, something to do with the Chinese zodiac. And he looked like a mix between a modern white rapper, you know, the guys that are trying too hard on YouTube or whatever, and those old, like, Bruce Lee kung fu movies. Yeah, he looked like that's the look he was going for, and he he may have talked like a poser and everything else, but he had the skills, and for whatever reason, he never went on YouTube or anything showing it off. But uh, yeah, he was just so fast with everything. It was like the fastest gun in the West, only there's like a board broken and everything. I don't know. Who else is a weirdo that I've heard about, run into, etc.? Oh, just real quick because I don't really want to talk about this guy. I'm looking through my notes and okay, he's called Singer, and given that name and what I'm about to describe, basically he's a psycho. He he's the kind of guy who's gonna beat your head in with a baseball bat while singing, "I've been working on the railroad," or something like that. Just he's a thug. He's a crazy lunatic. Not particularly super material, but worth mentioning because he's got a gimmick, and that's all you need nowadays. Um, all right, just one more, and I'll stop this rambling, get into more specific stuff. Who else? Who else? Who else? No. I'm seeing all these little myths and random stuff I keep hearing about. I'm not particularly organized, as you can tell from these video formats, so my notes are all over the place, but you know what they say, if you want to get better at something, you gotta practice, and that's what I'm practicing talking, practicing notes, etc. But yeah, let's talk about Blue Tail. Oh, good lord. Out of all of them, that she's okay. Blue Tail. You know those full body costumes, like all green or all black or whatever. Uh, Blue Tail has a costume like that whole full body thing, and like blue. I don't know what you call them, like really short shorts. Like the whole bodysuit is like black, but the shorts are blue, and she's got these wings. Like the whole thing is like Blue Tail Fly. You ever heard that song? Blame it on the Blue Tail Fly or Jimmy Crack Corn, something like that. And she's more of a mascot kind of character, you know, and flies around a little bit, this, that, and the other. And the reason why I'm hesitant is because she thinks she's making a difference. Like, all right, this is gonna make me sound like a freaking idiot or loser or something or other, but I don't care. But in Japan, there's these magical girl anime things, and they always talk like peace, happiness, love, blah blah, and she obviously has based her way of talking around that and old superhero cartoons like justice, peace, all that stuff. Not none of that human stuff, just the ideals. And if you're gonna be a mascot character, if you're gonna be like someone to take photo ops or whatever with, I guess that's one thing, you know. But I don't know. I just think people will call themselves heroes and just show up and be whatever without actually doing anything to help other people to fight crime, to do any sort of. Basically, just look up real life superheroes, and you can see some people that are actually vigilantes, that are actually helping people in other ways, like feeding homeless and stuff. Like the real life superhero thing was sort of a joke in the business, the registration thing, but they do some good, you know. But just flying around, showing off your blue butt, and talking like you're in a freaking cartoon, I don't know. It's weird. It's all kinds of weird. Anyway, yeah, I probably just did more ranting about this than ranting about what makes somebody weird. So let me just end this, I guess, with uh, what gets you up in the morning. You know, like for me, it's kind of like that fear. Like I have an intense fear of failure, so I wake up in the morning not because I have something to do, but it's like if I don't, there'll be consequences. And is that normal? You know, do people actually wake up happy or excited, or here comes a brand new day? I don't know. I think I'm in the majority, but I could be wrong. Anyway, let me just sing somebody else here that might be interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's this one last guy. He calls himself Deal Breaker, and he's a self-proclaimed exorcist, and he's kind of a hack. But it's kind of funny because that's the whole thing. He breaks deals with demons. He breaks deals with people. When you hire somebody called Deal Breaker, you don't. And he even has a. He doesn't have exact costume exactly. He just has a sort of logo, and I guess you'd call it a costume. He dresses in a certain way, like orange and black. That's his big thing. But yeah, he wouldn't. I guess he's not. He's like a fake hero, but he's actually a villain. So that's kind of interesting. I have a weird sense of humor. I think he's funny because he's called Deal Breaker, and you actually expect him to honor your agreement, and sometimes he does, but if he can't, he uses that name as a you should have known better thing. And you know, from a third person perspective, it's funny, but if you're dealing with him, you just want to. I mean, I'm sure he's got some sort of fighting skills, survival skills. Otherwise, he wouldn't still be around. Anyway, that's it for now, and thanks for listening.